Hello, world. My name is Stephen Hensley, and today is January 31st. It's Friday, January 31st, and it is 8:33 a.m. The intention, expectation, will for this video event is just to kind of I guess to kind of like daydream. I just want to explore like whatever comes to mind. Pardon me. I don't know what to say. I feel super lost in life and reality. I'm super unhappy. I feel fucking miserable. I'm super depressed and suicidal. Like have been since I was like 6 or 7 years old. I have schizophrenia and PTSD. And so basically like I hallucinate all day and every day and have been over the past like 11 years where I'm being like tortured. I just feel really upset all the time. I feel super angry. It's like I don't really know what would make me happy. I'm scared to commit to anything because like I don't know, I just have commitment issues. Like I wish I could figure out my shit. Like I wish I was like a professional or an expert in some way or in some field. Like I wish I could have been like a psychologist or a therapist or something. Like I would like to have been like someone like Tony Robbins. Like I just don't know how anybody does something like that. Like I have such a terrible memory and like I'm just so like sad all the time and depressed. Like I want to commit suicide super badly just 'cause like I want to be done with it all. Like, I don't see any point in any of it. Like I don't see any point in living or like in life or reality whatsoever. Like I'm not an attractive person in any way. Like I don't have any money. I'm not physically attractive. I'm morbidly obese. So I'm just like super ugly in like all sorts of depths of ways. I'm just not desirable. And like I don't know, like I don't really care. Like I wish I cared, but I don't really care because like I've never been able to make anybody happy, and like I have tried, and I'm not good enough for anybody. You know what I mean? Like the people I could probably attract, like the women I could probably attract, I don't think I would be attracted to. You know what I mean? I'm not attracted to morbidly obese women or fat women at all. They're not a turn on for me, and that's like a lot of what our culture is these days. Like a lot of like emotionally immature people all over the world. Like people act like they're smart, but we're not very smart. We may be able to like retain and remember facts and stuff like that, but I don't think that's very like I don't know. I don't consider that really that much of an intelligence thing. The ability to remember things. It is a little bit like I envy that. Like I wish I had a memory. Like I wish I had an eidetic and photographic memory. But I don't know. Like I'm not perfect. I wish I was. I just wish that like our species was more evolved than what it is. Like I'm super disappointed in the sign of the times. Like the potential's there. The potential's always been there. We just haven't really like taken advantage of it. You know what I mean? We haven't learned how to like utilize our potential very well. There's a bunch of emotionally unstable, mentally ill people all over the world, all over reality. It's really intense. It's really intimidating. It's really scary. Like there's a bunch of drug addicts and alcoholics and stuff all over the world, and that's really like scary. Just a bunch of irresponsible people everywhere. I don't know. I'm just super disappointed in like our species. I'm just so endlessly disappointed in life. It's really a bummer. I don't know how anybody like finds life appealing. I feel like there's a lot of like ignorant people and like naive people and neglectful people everywhere. Like I wish we were more resourceful with our resources on the earth because I feel like we're going downhill really, 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 really quickly, really, really, really fast. But because like people on the earth don't want to like cause panic in the world, they kind of like sweep it under the rug a bit. Like there's all these statistics and stuff that you can study on the internet and like kind of get a better picture of what's going on the earth. but like they don't really discuss that on the television or the media at all, in the mainstream media. Like, I'm really disappointed that Google has all this power and like Facebook has all this power. There's all these people who have all this power. They don't like they're not working on like the poverty level on the earth or homelessness or anything like that. They're super fucking fucked up greedy people. Like I don't know what to do about this planet. Like it's so overwhelming for me that I want to commit suicide. Like I wonder why like people believe in God, Jesus Christ and stuff. I feel like our species is absolutely delusional. I feel like we're mentally ill, like hella hardcore, and we have like such a tough time talking about it. It's like such a taboo subject. Same thing for sex in a lot of ways. Like people don't really talk about sex too much, at least not in my world. It's like really shamed and embarrassing. I feel ashamed and embarrassed as a human being to have needs and desires, you know what I mean? Like I don't really like the human condition or our programming on the earth. Like I said, it's like our potential is there. It just hasn't been utilized or taken advantage of very well. Like we've been taken advantage of, just not in the right way. You know what I mean? We've been negatively taken advantage of throughout history by like all these like quote unquote powers that be, like the church and the government and stuff. But like and like by gangs and like people who claim to be like friends or family, like cults. You know what I mean? There's all this psychology going on in the present moment throughout history or in creation all the time. Like I don't know why God doesn't protect us if there is such a thing as God. You know, I don't really understand. I don't know why we'd be so like absolutely vulnerable in so many like deep ways. Like, I feel like we're just asking for hella trouble. It makes me so sad too because like a huge saying that I've heard in the world is that there's no money in a cure. So there's all these like chemicals on the earth that we're supposed to like prescribe to instead of like people manufacturing cures. They're just manufacturing like prescriptions. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't really like the earth. I don't like life or the world or reality at all. I think it's like an awful game. Like I see it as like kind of like Einstein said about reality being an illusion, being a very persistent one. And like that's been said throughout history for millennia, for thousands of years. You know what I mean? By people all over the world in philosophy. and religion, like Maya in the East, which means illusion, which is like geared towards reality being an illusion. It's really intense. I see it as like I see reality in a lot of ways as being like a man-made invention. A lot of it is. Like a lot of our reality is a man-made invention and relatively illusion, a construct of consciousness, if you will. And like I see it as like a game. It's like a really, really, really like mad game, like Grand Theft Auto, basically. That's how I see the world. It's really humiliating that this is like our standards on the earth. We have some really, really, really poor standards for ourselves. We've created like an awful reality for ourselves and our future and our children and our children's children. Like I said, there's all these statistics on the internet that they don't talk about on the television or on the news. You know what I mean? Like as far as I can tell, like all these businesses and brands have like an agenda, and so like they'll they'll like basically like try to fool you or kind of like lie straight to your face in order to take advantage of you and use you for money. Like I feel like there's like a lot of Satanists on the earth. Like how there's a lot of Christians or Hindus or like Jewish people or whatever. I feel like Satanism is a huge role on this planet and throughout history. That's like majorly disappointing as like a realization. It turns my stomach, makes me feel so sick. Like I really used to love Hollywood and stuff as a kid, but it's like all this Me Too movement and like Diddy thing, like freak offs or whatever. That shit's crazy. What our species is doing on this planet is absolutely insane. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, who's supporting all this shit? Who's enabling all this shit? Who's like the referee? Like, that's why I have a really weird faith in like world religion and God and deities or saviors and shit. and like the idea of the occult or the scientific study of the paranormal and supernatural, mystical and magical. It's like really fucking intense. It's really, really crazy what our species believes and what we've created throughout history as like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They say in modern science that consciousness creates reality throughout history. I'm just not sure like why we're not more responsible than what we are as society. I don't understand why there's so many villains on this earth. Like, where have we gone wrong? And it's like I don't see all these institutions doing anything too much about it because they're making money from all of it. You know what I mean? Kind of like they say, like a lot of people believe that there may be a cure for cancer, but it's being suppressed because of all the research that's being done on it and like how much money is being made by that by those people who are doing the research. And basically like a whole bunch of people, like hundreds of thousands or I don't know, maybe millions of people would be out of jobs if cancer was cured, kind of thing. There's like all these like irrational fears and limiting beliefs around cure. I'm really looking forward to like artificial intelligence for robotics, like coming to the earth more. Though I'm heavily concerned, I'm greatly concerned about like the intentions of our species with this stuff, with technology. You know what I mean? Like I kind of like I'm curious if it'll be like the Matrix or like the Terminator series. I'm curious on like how correct Hollywood has been about reality in the future throughout history, to exploring like theory and philosophy and stuff. It's like Einstein said that the imagination is a preview of life's coming attractions. So I'm really curious as to like what sciences exist in reality throughout history that don't exist to the general populace just because it's not popular or it's not popularized. You know, there's not like enough funding behind it or incentive, just like creating a cure for stuff, there's not enough incentive to proceed or pursue that. And there's a lot of like hearsay or discussion about like consequences or repercussions for creating cures. Like people kind of forget, I think, sometimes of how resourceful humans are and like how apt and able to change we are. We deal with change really well, better than any other species in the world, I guess, or most other species in the world. I'm sure there's few exceptions, but you get the idea. We adapt and flow with change really well. And like I want to have faith in kind of creating like gentle reminders about stuff. Like I would like to be known for being like a gentle reminder of like honesty and like sciences and like potential and things. Like I'd like to be optimistic and like inspirational and empowering and stuff. Like I'd really like to explore values and value in the world and reality. I think values are really attractive in a person, or at least they can be. Like finding a like-minded and like-spirited person or people. I like it when you find like people that you click with and it feels like you've known each other forever. Kind of like soulmates or something. You just sort of fit into each other's lives. I too want to explore the concept or idea or the law of one or the idea of oneness and like the unified field and the collective conscious. There's a lot of people who suggest that like creation is just one thing, it's like one organism. I like to think that we're kind of like cells in that organism. Like we're all doing our job or playing a role to serve the greater good of the body or of God kind of thing. See, that's kind of how I believe in God. I believe in like serving God and stuff like that. Um, but I don't believe in God like really being there for us or doing anything for us. And I don't really believe in the Bible or world religion at all. Like I like some of the stuff it talks about, but like I think a lot of it's kind of like really weird. It reminds me too much of Hollywood and like science fiction and fantasy, which I love science fiction and fantasy. I just don't like being led to believe that like I need to worship it. You know what I mean? I don't like the idea of being forced to do like really anything throughout history. I like the faith in like God-given freedoms, which is what like a lot of people have fought and died for in the world. That's what like America has stood for a long time, which is really intense. I really like I feel sad about it. I feel sad that we like need to fight or like die or be killed to prove points or defend our rights. That's how I don't believe in God. I don't understand like why we have all these beliefs about God being like omnipresent and all powerful and all knowing and stuff. I guess that may be Christians' aspect of God, but I'm not sure. That might be other religions' aspect of God too. There's like this like idea that like God is watching over us and like that he has a plan and all this stuff. And it's like it makes me feel as though it enables and supports our species to be passive and like inactive and like unrealistic. I feel like we should be our own saviors instead of waiting for Jesus Christ to come back from the dead. Like I like to think and believe that we're all the second coming of Christ instead of like needing to wait for Jesus Christ to come back from the dead. I like to believe and think that we're all God too. Like that we're one with God, part of the unified field and the collective conscious. Kind of like what Jesus Christ supposedly said about being like, what was it? I and the Father are one. I am the life and the way. I like to believe that Jesus Christ was speaking for his audience or for his students, you know what I mean? Or for the world in the future. I like to believe he was speaking for us and not just about himself, like as a teacher, you know what I mean? I want to believe too in what Jesus Christ supposedly said about the kingdom of heaven being inside of us. So we have all this nature and all this potential, but like we've been conditioned in certain ways throughout history, as far as I can tell. Like we've been programmed like a computer or like trained or educated like an animal or a dog. And it's like, I don't know, the church knows about this stuff, the government knows about this stuff, but I don't know how many people in like society, how many like civilians know about like the fact that we're like training each other like this. It's like really kind of offensive in a lot of ways. Like I don't like the expectations like that we're capable of having for other people. Seems like we should expect more from ourselves and less from others. I know there's a lot of like handicapped people in the world who can't do for themselves, or like people who are just not trained in that way, like being a police officer, a firefighter, or like a doctor, or professional in some way. Uh, but it doesn't mean we should be so expecting, you know what I mean? And like proud. I really am offended by that kind of stuff. I don't like the sins very much. Like pride is the deadliest of the seven deadly sins kind of thing. Um, I don't know why the sins are supported or enabled so much throughout history. And I don't know why we don't talk about the virtues more in reality than what we do. I think I feel as though the church and the government has done a really piss poor job of kind of like raising our species and like doing stuff on this planet throughout history. The church is like super disgusting to me. It's like I don't really like the government so much either. I'm really hoping Donald Trump changes the government quite a lot. I hope he like I hope he is who a lot of people hope he is. Again, I don't really believe in saviors, but like it'd be nice if we had like someone who had our back in the White House or in the government, you know what I mean? Which I really just didn't feel that way about Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or like the Democratic Party. I don't feel like the Democratic Party has like humanity in mind so much as they have like themselves in mind and just trying to like use their privileges to kind of fool us into like valuing them essentially. There's like a whole lot of like perceived power and value and roles in the world that we've created. And it's like I said, it's like a game to me, like Monopoly or something, or the game of life, or Grand Theft Auto or something. I'm really, really curious as to like what people believe, what their intentions are, and what they value and stuff in reality or in the world throughout history. Like I'm not very intelligent, so I don't know how to like really articulate these things too well. I just know that like actions speak louder than words. There's like a lot of people who talk a good game throughout history. There's very few people who like perform. There's a lot of bad actors in the world. And like people gifted with the gift of gab or the ability to talk and persuade people or influence people or kind of like hypnotize people, you know what I mean? Even brainwash people, I'd say. There's a whole bunch of manipulative people in the world who are like really out to like control, you know what I mean? There's a lot of bad people in the world who are looking to control. It's really, really, really scary, really intense. I really wish I could have been a better person than what I am, or than I have been or had been. I'm like trying to make strides every day towards being a better person inside and out. Like, I don't know if I'll ever be like Jesus Christ or like Buddha or anybody or Mother Teresa or the Dalai Lama or Gandhi. I wish we had like greater incentives for our species to be like real and to be like courageous and to be like doing the right thing, be a decent human being or be a good person. You know what I mean? There's so much like programming in the world right now, kind of sign of the times or the status quo, where we're like supporting a lot of like bad behavior. It's like being enabled throughout history by like bad actors. Like, I really wish I could be like a professional artist and like I'd like to name and shame a whole bunch of bad qualities of our species so that like we can like make choices into the future that are like a little bit more uh, appropriate. I would like to help people make more rational and like just all around better decisions. I'd like to create. I'd like to teach critical thinking in reality. That's something that's not taught in like grade school, or I don't think it's even taught in like higher education either. I'm not super sure. Like I think the institutions in the world want to create a bunch of slaves. I mean, a bunch of like yes men and yes women, subservient like people. They don't like people thinking for themselves. I'm really curious as to what the future is going to be like with artificial intelligence, robotics, with like the economy and the workforce. I heard something about like there being like 8 million jobs taken by artificial intelligent cars or vehicles and trucks and stuff. That's going to be so much more affordable for insurance and stuff for the companies. And there's going to be so many less mistakes that I don't know, it just would be stupid not to transition for people. I just don't know what we're gonna do for work as a species once artificial intelligence and robotics takes over. I feel like we're gonna end up being taken care of by the government. I feel like we're all gonna be given like a standard for living, like food stamps and social security, and it'll be a whole nother game. You know what I mean? It'll be a whole nother level of the game, I guess. I'm really curious as to what like creativity will become in the future in the humanities, or what we used to call the humanities. It's like we're kind of making ourselves obsolete with robots or with technology, you know what I mean? Which is something that I think we want to do ultimately. We want to like retire and then like be able to do what we're passionate about all over the earth, all over the world, you know? I feel like creativity is just going to go through the roof in reality because people will become much more time abundant or wealthy. You know what I mean? We won't have anything else to do other than focus on our creativity and our humanity. I really wish I could create a franchise like Mickey Mouse or Batman or Harry Potter or something, or like Star Wars. Like, I don't really know what I'm trying to say or what I want to say or anything like that. I just have like this craving. I just I admire that stuff so much. Like I love cartoons and stuff when I was a kid. I wish there was some like I wish there's new cartoons and video games that I could get into. Just I feel like all the cartoons and stuff these days are really stupid. I feel like nobody wants to take their time to do anything anymore. It's just become like consumerism all over the planet. I feel like our species doesn't even know what they're looking for. I really wish I could be like a Steve Jobs and a Walt Disney and a Tony Robbins and like Katy Perry. I wish I could be like a male Katy Perry. wish I wasn't so sick. I wish I didn't hallucinate like I do. And like I wish I had a better memory than what I do and stuff like that. Like, I'm super disappointed. Like I feel like I've just kind of missed out on all the best things in life. I hate being a loser like I am. I don't have any friends. I haven't had sex or a girlfriend in like 12 years. And like, I don't know. I don't have any money. I haven't had a job in 12 years either. 2012 was like the best year of my life. In that year, well, what happened is like, I was really like, just sort of down on my luck. I never had really been like too fortunate in the first place. Like I said, I've always been like suicidally depressed ever since I was like 6 or 7 years old. And I've just always like hated life. And I grew up being super like shy and antisocial. Still am. I still don't know how to like meet people or like form relationships. It's a huge problem in my life in reality. And anyway, so like at the end of 2011, I think it was like November, I watched on Netflix the film The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, and it talked about like the law of attraction and manifestation and like I don't know, whatever, setting goals and like achieving your dreams and stuff like that. And so I started doing that. I made a vision board and like started writing down my goals, and like I had set that I wanted to like lose weight. I wanted to finish losing weight because like uh back when I was like 18, 19 years old, I was like, well, back when I was like 16 years old, I was 265 pounds, and like um by like 2012 when I set the goal, I had lost like 110 pounds or something like that. No, more than that. Let's see here. No, that's right. I lost 100 pounds. No, I lost 110 pounds because at my heaviest I was at like 275 pounds. So I'd gotten down to 165 pounds uh, in 2012. I started going to school. I got a job. I started making friends, and like I I started throwing parties with like a school chum of mine that later become a bad roommate and like influence on me. And but anyway, we threw a couple parties, made a couple $100. That was fun. Um, and then I started dating, and I got my first girlfriend, and then um, well, just before I got my first girlfriend, my car broke down, and I moved in with my dad, who lives out in the middle of nowhere, and so uh, I had to quit my job. I had to quit going to school because I had no way to get there. Um, but then I met my first girlfriend, and that was like the best experience of my life. Um, and we were together for like 3 months, and she broke up with me, and then I became hella depressed and suicidal again, and then I became schizophrenic. I had a schizophrenic break. I started hallucinating a whole lot, and uh, I thought I was speaking to God, and I thought God had named me Christ, and I thought I had evolved the atom and created elemental magic, and so all the hallucinations made sense. That's why I was I didn't know I was sick. I thought I had created elemental magic, and that's why I was seeing the things I was seeing. It was all very linear and made sense, like a Hollywood story or like a novel or something. There's a ton of sciences too, so like I said, it all made sense, or at least it seemed to. It seemingly made sense. I don't know enough about science to claim that it actually made any real sense because I don't think it did. Obviously, it's just a hallucination. But yeah, I'd heard this voice in my head that I thought was God, and it said that it asked me if I wanted to be the catalyst for creation. I said yeah. I said I thought at the time I felt like that was what I was waiting for my entire life. It seemed really super important. And then this voice asked me to go outside and sit down in the grass. And I saw a bird fly by. When I saw that bird fly by, I heard a voice in my head that said Stephen Lane Hensley II had died and become God in the flesh. And I don't know. It was really intense. I thought I created new life when I evolved the atom and created elemental magic because I shared my consciousness with the atom, and so elemental magic was super intelligent, super conscious of itself and its surroundings, kind of thing. And then I sent it off to go explore the world. I thought I had created the world in the afterlife through the creation of elemental magic. It was really intense. I wish it was real, other than the fact that I've been being tortured by evil spirits and demons over the past 11 years since it started. So it's I thought I had created heaven, and then there was a war put on heaven over to use it as a resource on the earth, when my expectations were always just to let it be a free and open source project on the earth so that we could all learn about it together and make progress so we wouldn't be left behind. You know what I mean? So everybody would evolve together. Like I thought I was like on the way to creating world peace, peace on earth and heaven on earth, and like it just turned out that I was sick. It was really heartbreaking. I think that's why I'm so bitter and heartbroken and hurt, just because like, and why I'm so disappointed in like God or whatever, just because like I had a whole bunch of like really like vivid hallucinations that led me to believe that things were gonna get better, like really quickly, and it's like it never happened. Like I feel like somebody out there is gonna declare world peace, peace on earth and heaven on earth, and people are gonna believe it, and it's gonna change the world at large, just because it's gonna be like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like people are just gonna believe in themselves for me the first time ever and go, you know what? I back that. I stand for that. I support world peace, peace on earth and heaven on earth. That's what I want too. And because like we can do anything we put our minds to, and with God anything is possible, and teamwork makes the dream work. We achieve world peace, peace on earth and heaven on earth in reality. Like there's not a whole lot of people who are incentivized to do that kind of thing because they don't want to look stupid or be like rejected or like cast out of the tribe. You know what I mean? They don't want to be like they don't want to lose love in reality, 'cause that's kind of painful for some people. The loss of love is a major like influence throughout history, or the gain of love. So love has been a huge incentive throughout history. Love and affection is really intense. It's really amazing what people are capable of doing with their resourcefulness and like other people's like resources, like their thoughts and emotions and things, or their like patience. I really wish I could help this planet like Tony Robbins has, or like Albert Einstein did, or like Nikola Tesla or someone, or Benjamin Franklin, or whoever invented the internet or whatever, or who invented the computer. I really wish I could have been an inventor. I really wish I could invent things and like I guess like I'd like to invent and sell things. That's pretty much my dream is to invent and sell products and services through the internet and all over the world. Like I want my mission statement to be like that I want to help people find and live their passions and dreams for fun and profit. I want to help people feel happy, healthy, wealthy, and free. Like I really wish I could be like a entertainer and comedian and stuff like Jim Carrey or Robin Williams or like Ryan Reynolds or someone like that. So I'd really like to be funny and lighthearted and like an inspiration. I'd like to be known for being like a really kind person and for having a really big heart and stuff. Like I'd really like to explore values, like I said before. Like as far as like the law of attraction goes, I think values are super like relevant and important. I think values are really powerful in reality throughout history. I think that's what we mean by someone who's like-minded. They have similar interests and values, maybe similar goals and aspirations and things too. Like I wish I could find that in the world. I really wish I could find like a team of people to work with to create a business with and like change the world. I wish I wasn't such an angry person. I wish I didn't feel so upset all the time. I wish I was more confident and courageous. I wish I was more assertive and outgoing. I wish I could figure out what I could do for this planet in order to like be a positive role model. Like, I dream of being a public figure really badly, It's probably my one of my favorite dreams. I just don't feel like I'm ready yet. I don't know if I'll ever feel that way. I wish I could figure out how to be happy. Like I feel so miserable all the time because of my hallucinations and stuff. I'm so ashamed and embarrassed of myself. I'm just not like the quality of person I feel like we deserve. You know what I mean? I feel like we deserve better than what I've put forward in the past. Like I'd like to do better. I'm just not sure like what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm really lost. I know I'd like to help people achieve their dreams, to achieve and succeed their dreams or surpass their dreams. 'Cause it's something that I believe in, that God dreams bigger dreams for us than we're willing to dream for ourselves. Just because we're shy or humble, you know what I mean? Or maybe like a little afraid or insecure or frightened in some way. I really wish I could create my own reality show, like Big Brother or Keeping Up with the Kardashians or something, or like really like Star Search that used to be on back in the day, or something like American Idol or America's Got Talent. Like I'd like to create like a platform like TikTok to host this reality show, and I'd like for anybody to be able to participate, like from all over the world, just like YouTube or Facebook or TikTok. And then I want to create competitions on the platform for people to compete for. Like, I'd really like to study and popularize the game of life. And like I like to create like a companion app for the game of life. I used to call it Life Path, but that's because that's it's like already taken. Somebody else is using the name Life Path. so I can't do that. But like that was the idea of like I was wanting to use artificial intelligence to explore human potential and basically create like a video game out of it so people could like explore their opportunities in reality through like simulation until they found like something they're truly passionate about and cared to pursue. I kind of wanted to create it like a trade school, an apprenticeship, but like I don't even know where to begin with something like that. I'd really like for something like that to exist. Um, I'm just not sure what I'm doing or what I'm looking for. I'm sure it could be done. I'm just not sure what my next step would be or how to proceed. I wish I could like find a team of volunteers to help us realize this dream on the earth of world peace, peace on earth and heaven on earth through like a companion app for the game of life. Like, I want to use like every bit of resourcefulness that we can to help people utilize their resourcefulness and resources uh, intelligently to create prosperity all over the world. I want to create prosperity and abundance all over the world in reality. And I'd like to end homelessness and poverty and hunger all over the world. I really have faith in the internet and in media and the human spirit and ingenuity. Like I know it's possible. I know we're capable of creating world peace, peace on earth and heaven on earth. I'm just not sure why we haven't done it yet. I don't know why we haven't been enabled or supported in the past to think more like this. Um, like I'm not sure how to incentivize or like any of that stuff for people to believe in world peace and heaven on earth. I think there's a bunch of people who are really creative who could like create descriptions of what the future could be like for us if we were to like work on changing our minds, our behaviors and stuff and taking right action. If we were to be like just a little bit more thoughtful from day to day or mindful, you know what I mean? Present. I'd really like to help people meditate and pray and reflect and stuff too. And I'd like to help people with their narrative dialogue and help people with affirmations, incantations, and mantras. Essentially, like the stories we tell ourselves and each other, the questions we ask ourselves and each other. I think this stuff is really important. I guess my dream is to create as much relief as I possibly can, as well as like inspiring as much abundance in the world as I possibly can. And that's why I want to be an entertainer. I want to entertain world peace, peace on earth, and heaven on earth. I want to help people feel happy, healthy, wealthy, and free. I want to help people find and live their passions, dreams for fun and profit. Those are my values and my mission statement, or at least the beginning of it. I don't know what it'll evolve to or be refined as in the future, but like that's like the general concept or idea. Pardon me. Alright, I guess that's it. I can't imagine what else to say. So, thank you for watching and listening. Peace.